Warning: the following video might contain moments that might be too disturbing for some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised. If you ever go to a swimming pool, if you read this story at any time, take it very seriously. If you ever swim in the pool, I would recommend being extremely cautious and do not go into the deeper end, especially if you're afraid of it for whatever reason. This story can just prove you to be right about being terrified of deep water. I was 17 years old. It was 1998. And me and my friends decided to go to the local swimming pool for some fun that night. When we saw the lights off, but the door unlocked, our hearts sank almost instantly after trying to open the door. The weird thing about this pool is that no lights at all were on, not even in the water, rendering everything pitch black under the water. Me and my friends turned on our flashlights on our phones, and immediately we began to speculate about someone having snuck in when we heard bubbles blowing in the water. When we shined our lights there was nothing. Still, we knew something was in the water. I dared my friend Riley to go into the water to see if he could find a person or creature, but he was terrified of it and refused. He urged me to do it instead, but I was horrified of the large pool with about 14-foot water in it. I did not know who or even dare I say what was in the water, so I flashed my light down there due to the darkness in it. I couldn't see anything. I increased the brightness and saw the bottom of the pool, revealing dark-colored blue lines there. But then I heard growling and moaning in there. Frantic, I turned around and ran to my friends, begging them to see what the creature was. My tough friend, John, stepped forward to examine it, and he dove under the water to search for the source of the sound. He found nothing, but we all froze in fear when we heard muffled screams and sounds of roaring coming from down there. It took me a few moments to realize Jarrod wasn't playing around at all. He did emerge unscathed and told us all that he was confronted by something down there. Keyword was something, not someone, something. I didn't know whether to laugh at what he said or not. However, me and my friends agreed that something was wrong. All five of us ran to the stairs leading up to the top of the water slide, where we knew we would be safe, or so we thought. From below, we heard noises. The noise sounded like some deep, distorted yell, alternated by the water. I refused to go down there to see what it was. Then that was when it hit me. There were only five of us as opposed to six. My friend Tom was missing. Frantic, I asked everyone to tell me where he was, but they all gave me the same response. They had no idea where Tom went. My fear was for his safety mixed in with my fear in general as I ran down the stairs and dove down into the water, realizing not until now that was the biggest mistake I had ever made in my entire life. This is where I honestly thought I was going to die. I dove into the water and searched around the bottom, looking for any signs of my friend to see if he was still alive. Suddenly, as I landed on the surface, I felt something grabbing my leg with force and try pulling me back into the water. The loud sound of growling and bellowing horrified me even more as I was dragged down under water once again. I struggled to escape. I thought I was going to drown. I turned to see nothing but darkness behind me, but the growling came from that same place as I didn't see my right foot. I looked up and saw my friend's flashlight, and that was the last thing I saw before everything faded to darkness. The last thing I remember was waking up the next morning, laying on my bed. I looked to my left and saw a note reading, "You're lucky we saved you from that monster in the pool. Don't ever go to the pool again at night." It was from my parents. Immediately, I agreed to their decision and developed a phobia of water at night. My fear of deep water, like the ocean, intensified to a much higher level. I have no idea what they meant by monster, but I knew I had my light on me that I didn't use for reasons I can't explain. I definitely feel like I should have looked with my light at that creature that was in the water with me, but maybe I should be happy I didn't see what was in there. I asked my parents to describe the creature they saw that dragged me down. that dragged me down, but they were too mortified to tell me anything. My dad told me that he was responsible for saving me from dying at the last second, and rescued it to resurrected me as soon as he realized I was in danger. The thought of Tom came up again. I asked my dad if he saw him anywhere, and my dad told me he never recovered Tom. I was convinced he was dead. My inner child was crying. I couldn't control my fear. I never went back to the pool at all again. 10 years have passed, and I'm still not looking to go there anymore. I have no idea what the creature could have been. How do I know it wasn't a person, you might ask? Well, it was simply because of the noises it made, and how large it sounded. Perhaps everyone has at least one truly horrific unexplained event in their lives that they would write a story about, and this was mine. So that was There's Something in the Water, a summer-themed creepypasta story, and my thoughts on it? That was actually pretty terrifying and pretty good, since, these type of stories about someone going to the water and there's like something unexplained just shows up that tries to end them is pretty terrifying. That one story in Tales of the Pizzaplex, drowning, is actually plus the most scariest story out of the one FNAF anthology book series. Since I have a common fear of getting drowned in the water, that's terrified me since I was a kid. And this story, just like the drowning story from Tales of Pizza from Tales from the Pizzaplex, pretty much makes me not wanting to go to the water in the middle of the night and being all alone without any lifeguards that could help that could get me out of the water if I struggling. And especially the ending is pretty depressing with the protagonist's friend. Let's see, what's his name? Tom. Yeah, Tom pretty much dies, which is pretty sad since the protagonist's inner child is pretty much crying, which I feel bad for the protagonist just losing their best friend, and it pretty much explains why he has the protagonist now has now afraid of of the water at night, since there could be something that could get him. So yeah. So overall, it's a pretty good creepypasta. Especially this is could be terrifying for people who are afraid of going to the water. Especially they're afraid of drowning in the water. So yeah. I just hope you guys enjoy my creepypasta reading video of. In a sec. There's Something in the Water. So like and comment this video and subscribe more content. So this is Mr. Freddy here, and I hope you have a very good day. So see ya.